Thank you, Rick. Of course, we have the storms this afternoon, and it looks like we've got another round of storms here for tomorrow as temperatures skyrocket as we head into the weekend and next week. So we got a lot to talk about here. But let's talk about those storms that occurred earlier this afternoon. And we had several of them across our area, but there was one main cluster that made its way from Montgomery and parts of Howard County all the way across through Anne Arundel County. Even a report of funnel cloud in and around Odenton, and that certainly matches up with some of the radar data we were looking at earlier. There was a bona fide circulation there. Went all the way across towards Kent Island, and then really wrapped up again over northern Caroline County. We had some significant wind over in that region around the areas around Denton. That's where we saw some really strong winds in that particular area with some trees down. Looks like we're going to do it all over again here for tomorrow. I think the storm threat will be a little bit more widespread for tomorrow as that cold front makes its way into the region. Hail, wind, as well as, of course, that threat for some flash flooding. We've gotten so much rain already, and it looks like any additional rain is only going to cause some issues. Right now, the time frame we're looking at as early as 3 o'clock west of Baltimore, and then tracking eastward towards the eastern shore by 7, 8 o'clock. Should be all out of here, though, by 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I do expect more storm coverage than what we saw today, and there's going to be a higher threat for wind damage tomorrow, as well as flooding potential. And one of the things we noticed last night with the storms that came through last night is even though the winds weren't that strong, the ground is so wet that the trees had no problem blowing over. So you're going to have that kind of issue as well with some of these storms that occur here for tomorrow, even if the wind isn't particularly strong. As I showed you earlier, temperatures are very mild, and that's all because of the dew point. Again, anytime you talk about how humid it is outside, forget about the relative humidity. Look at what the dew point is. And anytime you see numbers this high, that is a very sticky atmosphere. Now, the good news is once the front comes through later tomorrow, it's going to drop off briefly into Friday, but then it's going to go right back up heading into the weekend and into next week. So pretty quiet overnight tonight, expecting mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, some patchy fog, a little bit on the humid side. Temperatures starting off tomorrow morning into the mid to upper 70s to around 80. Here's a dying line of storms that's now making its way through western Pennsylvania. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings there. There's Garrett County right there. We'll see if they hold together and make it into western Maryland. But again, the threat for tomorrow is going to be from that wind damage and also that flooding potential with some of those storms here for tomorrow. So Futurecast kind of shows you how things will play out. Notice we start the morning off quiet. We're going to have plenty of sunshine. We'll warm to near 90. And then by midday, we'll have heat index right around 95 degrees. And then here come the storms. Notice 3 or 4 o'clock, they start developing out towards Frederick, Westminster, Hagerstown. They form into a line. And again, this is along that cold front as it makes its way through the region. So this around 6 o'clock, they should be out of the area by sunset, at least out of the Baltimore area. Now, east of I-95, they'll continue over to the eastern shore, southern Maryland into the evening hours. And then after that, we have a nice quiet day on Friday for the first day of summer, and then the heat dome builds across our area, and that's when temperature is going to crank up. AFRAM 92 degrees on Saturday, 96 coming up on Sunday. Of the 2 days, I think Sunday will be the worst day from the heat index standpoint. That's when we're going to feel like close to 100 degrees. So again, 94 tomorrow, 98 coming up on, or 88, I should say, coming up on Friday, 92 on Saturday, 96 Sunday. But look at the numbers next week, 99 to around 100 degrees. That's the air temperature. The heat index is going to be over 105, particularly for Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon. So storms tomorrow, quiet Friday, and then heating up the weekend into next week. Alex.
Derek, thank you. It was all